We are back at it, man. Apologize about the delay and the problems. I had to create a whole new stream. Not sure what the fuck was going on with that, but that shit ain't stopping shit. We back at it, man. Life is just a way podcast, man. We back at it, man. Pull back up to the channel. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. Has experienced some little bit of technical difficulties, man. You know the devil trying to hate on us, man. They don't want us to get this good old content out here today, man. But y'all already know what time it is, man. We back in the fucking mix, man. Life is just a wave podcast. Apologize about the technical difficulties, everybody, but we are back up in it, man. Y'all already know how it go. Life is just a wave podcast. We are back, baby. We are back. We are back. Had to restart this whole computer, man. Get everything set back up, but it seems like everything is back up working now. Links have been sent out to everybody, but where the fuck did I leave off at, man? This shit pissed me off so much. Got to remember where the hell did we left off at, man? Where did we leave off last? I think we was talking about CJ Stroud, man, his fall from grace, man. And do we think that this is a deliberate move? AOL wide in the day, Agent 704. I don't know what the fuck was going on, man. It was more of the laptop than it was the connection. I don't know what the hell was going on, but everything seemed to be working a lot smoother, man. I had to reboot this baby, man. This shit was freezing up. But we are back at it, man. Hey, appreciate everybody's patience, man. Midday Madness in the mix. Again, I am your host with the most all the way from the East Coast. Big waves in the fucking building, man. Hey, look. Listen, man. 4 days away from the draft. Carolina Panthers, man. Number one pick. Guys, can you think of a time where we haven't had a time this more excited, man, since Cam Newton got drafted. We haven't had a more exciting time in Carolina since Cam Newton got drafted, man. We are literally about to embark on a brand new era of Carolina Panther football. As fans, we have sat here. We have dealt with a lot of losing seasons, a lot of problems, a lot of coaching changes, a lot of, players coming in and out. But we're finally getting to a point where we're able to sit up here and say that we are about to see some quality Carolina Panther football led by no other than Bryce Young. Listen, I am so fucking excited, man, about what this new regime is going to look like, this new Panther football team, to have a quarterback that's going to be capable of doing absolutely everything that we need him to do on the football field. That part right there excites me the most, man. Like I've been sitting back and looking at our record for the last couple of years and how bad of a football team that we have been. But are we going to see some real meaningful football for the Carolina Panthers going forward now? And the answer to that question is yes. We're embarking on a new era of Carolina Panther football. And as fans, everybody should be excited. Everybody should be stoked about it. Everybody should be lit about what we're about to go into. This is an exciting time this week. Every day of this week is going to be lit. Hell, like I said, I'm thinking about taking a work because I'm just too anxious, man. I'm too anxious about it. I'm too excited about it. This is arguably the most important day in Panthers history. Shout out to Panther Superfan for that. You're absolutely right. I think it is the most important day in Carolina Panthers history because this decision right here is going to be the decision that set this franchise up for years to come. We got Big Bro in the building. Go ahead and get him up here, man, and get his takes on it. Again, man, everybody pop back up to the stream. We are back live. We had some technical difficulties with the first stream, had to get it back up and running. We are good now. Connection, everything is back to where it needs to be. So it looked like that we are good to go. Big Bro in the building. Big Bro, what's good with it, man? You already know what time it is. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? All the Panther fans out there. Hey, baby, this the week. This is the week we've been waiting for. Draft week, Thursday night. We setting up our franchise for the next 10 to 15 years plus. And hey, we here, guys. This what we've done so far this offseason. Everything has been leading up, to this moment. Selecting our guy, which is our final piece that one of the final pieces that we need, but the most important piece that we need, which is a quarterback, franchise quarterback. It's the most important piece on any NFL team that you can have. So I'm excited. I'm glad it's finally here. I can't wait, man. The Thursday. Hey, it's time, fellas. Like like Dion, you say it's time. We coming, baby. We coming. So hey, get ready. Everybody that ain't on board with Bryce Young, get ready because we coming, baby. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, man. We absolutely coming. We coming for everybody fucking next, man. Like I said, this is finna be a new era of Carolina Panther football, man. An era like a lot of you haven't even seen. And again, man, as fans, when Bryce Young name is going to be, I can pretty much say it now at this point, man. I feel 99% sure that he is going to be the pick on Thursday. When his name gets called, man, guys, embrace it. Embrace it, man. This is going to be the quarterback that changes the Panthers' fortunes. This is going to be, like he said, the last piece to the puzzle to get a Super Bowl ring to come here into Carolina. That's what this shit is about. This shit is about building a Super Bowl contender. We've seen the playoffs. We've had some teams to go to the playoffs. We've been to some Super Bowls, but it's time to win one. It's time to bring that shit here to Carolina. It's time for everybody to sit back and be able to enjoy football and stop being on the damn edge of their seats, man, worrying about is we gonna win the game, is we gonna lose the game. All of that shit, man, is about to be behind us, man. And this new brand of Carolina Panther football that we seeing. A whole new brand of Carolina Panther football, man. Well, Big Bro, I got to get some takes, man, on this news, man, that has come out. One of the biggest news, man, that came out, man, this was reported from Peter King, that C.J. Stroud will fall out of the top 7. The Houston Texans are not sold on C.J. Stroud, and they are more than likely to take a defensive end at number 2 instead of a quarterback. What are your thoughts on that, man? And what is going on with C.J. Stroud?
So I actually I seen the report last week. I think it was Friday. Last Friday or Thursday, I can't remember. It might have been Friday. I've seen it, but there was a report. I forgot who it was from, but there was a report that Bryce Young was fall all the way to 13. So when I seen it, I was kind of shocked at it, but it also reassured me. Okay, knowing who we was gonna draft, but I was shocked in the aspect is that okay. So if Houston don't take Bryce Young at number 2, and again we talked about this before on the show that they could possibly go defensive player or trade out of that pick if they don't like CJ. Which I would think if they don't take CJ, I think they'll be making a big mistake. That's just my opinion because I do think CJ is that guy. But I can't see him falling all the way to 13 or hell even 7, because the Colts are right there at 4, man, and they need a quarterback. And I know AR-15 kind of been linked to the Colts, but I still don't see them. If CJ Stroud's on the board, them drafting AR-15 over CJ, unless there's something that we don't know about that's recently came up with Stroud. I haven't heard anything myself, but that's the only way I can see that happening, unless something in the last week has came up or came out that they haven't reported potentially, man. But Stroud is that guy, man. He should be, in my opinion, the number 2 quarterback taken off the board. Whichever team needs a quarterback. Obviously, if Houston don't want to go with him, that's fine. I think they make a mistake. They want to go defensive. They do got D'Amico Ryans here, a big defensive guy. So I do understand that. But he should at least get drafted at 4 with the Colts. At 4. So, but I don't see him falling all the way to 13 though. I would be shocked on draft night if he fell all the way to 13.
Yeah, man, it's shocking to me, right? Like it's really shocking to me. I know that every year we always have players like this, man, that it comes out that they slide for whatever reason, man. But in my eyes, man, it was always 1A and 1B, right? So I really don't understand why CJ Stroud is getting so much flack literally these days up, man, which is costing him millions of dollars. I just read one report, man, that they said that the Colts really want Anthony Richardson. That's who they're sold on. Shane Steichen obviously has experience. He's the head coach for the Indianapolis Colts. He has a ton of experience working with younger, quarterbacks with that skill set. Hence, what he did with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. So, man, it's very much possible, man, that only 2 quarterbacks go in the top 5. You get what I'm saying? I'm looking. It's starting to look more and more like that, man. That I don't think C.J. Stroud will get past like the Seattle Seahawks, but watch out, man, for him potentially, man, falling to that 7 or 8 spot, where a team like the Falcons or a team like the Raiders already said that they're not going quarterback. They came out and said that they're not going quarterback. Again, it could be all fluff, but they already said that they're not going quarterback in the draft. But look for a surprising team, man, to come up and get C.J. Stroud, man. I think it's very much likely, man, at this point that he may fall out of the top 5.
I mean, I could see a scenario that happen, that if the Colts are sold on Anthony Richardson, if they were to take him over CJ, again, I think that's another mistake. But I can't see a scenario of him falling to like that 7th or 8th. Now, again, we can go back to a couple years ago. Justin Fields slid, man. He slid always, I think the 12th or 13th pick. Can't remember what it was exactly, but and a lot of teams probably wishing that they wouldn't have, they would have took him, looking back at it. So, hey man, I'm gonna say any team that passed on CJ and whoever team that get him, it's gonna be worth it, man. I'm telling you, that dude, I think gonna be the real deal in the NFL as well. So again, the news is coming out that he gonna slide in now. Hey, that's fine. He gonna come in and prove the league wrong for those teams that it happens every year, where these quarterbacks slide and players slide, period, and and they just come out hungry, man, and say, all right, well, I'm gonna show y'all, I'm gonna make y'all show why I should have been that top pick. But again, the news is still shocking, though, man.
Yeah, it is shocking, man. And then, man, like I've been trying to do my research just to figure out why. Like, why is it that he's falling from grace so much, man?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I honestly can't answer that, man. Like I said, unless something that we don't know about that hasn't been reported or came out that just recently came out, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. So I don't know. Again, as Bryce Young was doing the media rounds last week, I knew Bryce was going to be the number 1 pick because he was the only one doing the media rounds, all the major shows, ESPN, and that solidified it. So I was like, okay, well, CJ definitely going to be the number 2 quarterback taken, in which I still believe that. I still think that he's going to be the number 2, quarterback taken off the board. Somebody may come up and get him if the coach don't like him. Because to me, he's the second best player in this draft, man. At quarterback, 1A, 1B type deal. So, but I do see a scenario where he may fall to 7th or 8th. I don't think he's gonna get past. Excuse me. I don't think he's gonna get past the 8th pick. Jimmy, now CJ Stroud not gonna be the number 1 pick, man. The first overall pick. It's gonna be Bryce Young. Like I said, the writing's on the wall. If you go back and watch last week, those that didn't pay you, Bryce Young was all in the media last week. On all the shows, the NFL's putting him in front. So I mean, Bryce Young will be the number 1 pick. So Jim, is the writing on the wall, man. I hate to crush your dreams, but Bryce will be our guy, not CJ. Which again, CJ could be number 1. I do think he deserves to be, number 1 as well. But we only can pick 1 player. But it's gonna be Bryce though. Hey, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Wade.
Yeah, so Peter King just dropped his mock draft, man, about 30 minutes ago. And this is just the top 5 that he have here. Yeah, like here we go. So he got Bryce Young taking number 1. just what he has to say. The number rightfully that has been exception for draft Nixon for 10 is 5'10". That's young height and says so much about the state of football in the 2023 that NFL team would have the audacity to make a 5'10" quarterback with an average NFL arm the first pick in the draft. I would counter by saying this: numbers should be just as important too. Young threw 380 passes in 12 games for Alabama last fall, and 2 were batted down or deflected at the line of scrimmage. The 6'6" Justin Herbert threw 699 passes last year and had 23 batted down and deflected at the line of scrimmage. Every player is a risk, and the bust factor among quarterbacks is high. And Young, 2 inches shorter than Drew Brees, and half an inch shorter than Russell Wilson, told me at the combine the height thing hasn't gotten in the way during his Young's life. I definitely didn't streak any time recently. Young said, I'm comfortable with myself. I'm confident in my abilities. I think Carolina's making the right call here. Young showed consistency on tape and on the newly important S2 and processing test that has quick twitch decision-making and best in his QB class. He gets high marks for leadership and the ability to shine under pressure. I understand those who would say it's a reach by the Panthers because he'll be playing in the land of the Giants every week, but Carolina needs a franchise quarterback. You don't get to pick which year you will have the top pick in the draft. It's right here, right now for the Carolina Panthers, and Young is the best candidate for the pick. Carolina should attach the uber positive and experienced Josh McCown to the new quarterback's coach to the hip of Young and get him ready for opening day. This kid will be special, per Peter King. At number 2, he has the Houston Texans taking either Tyree Wilson, edge rusher from Texas Tech. At number 3, he has Tennessee trading with the Arizona Cardinals to take C.J. Stroud. The Tennessee Titans trading with the Arizona Cardinals to take C.J. Stroud. CLT in the building. CLT, what's good with it, boy?
What to do, my guys, man? Everything's smooth. Everybody had a good weekend?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Glad to have you here, man. Just covering all this rumor mill, man. Hey, right now we're going over the mock draft. Peter King just released his final mock draft before the draft. And obviously, man, Bryce Young is still the favorite to come to Carolina, number 1 overall by a landslide mark. He has the Houston Texans passing over at quarterback, taking Tyree Wilson, the edge rusher from Texas Tech. And then at 3, surprise trade, the Tennessee Titans trading with the Arizona Cardinals to take C.J. Stroud. And then at 4, he has the Indianapolis Colts taking Will Levis. At 5, he has Jalen Carter being taken by the Seattle Seahawks. At 6, he has Detroit Lions taking Will Anderson. And then at 7, he has the Las Vegas Raiders taking cornerback Devon Witherspoon from Illinois. And then at 8, god damn, this is crazy. Atlanta taking Bijan Robinson. And then for Chicago, has Paris Johnson Jr. going to the Bears. At 10, Philadelphia Eagles taking Nolan Smith, the edge rusher. And then Arizona with the trade with Tennessee taking Christian Gonzalez, number 11. And then they have the Texans taking a quarterback at 12, Hendon Hooker. Damn, over Anthony Richardson. And then the Jets taking Broderick Jones, tackle from Georgia. New England taking a guard from Northwestern, Peter Soronsky. Green Bay taking Dalton Kincaid in the top 15. And Washington taking Brian Branch for Alabama. Detroit taking Deontay Banks, cornerback from Maryland. And then Tampa Bay taking Darnell Wright. Seattle taking Zay Flowers. And then the Chargers taking Jordan Addison. Baltimore taking Emmanuel Forbes. And then at 23, he has Anthony Richardson sliding all the way to 23, taken by the Minnesota Vikings. Damn. What y'all thoughts on that, man?
Man, that guy just wants some reactions. That shit don't make no sense.
Yeah, it's wild.
He just wants some feedback. That doesn't make any sense.
He just wants some fit. So CLT, man, is it the Bryce show in Carolina, or you still holding out for CJ Stroud?
I think it's a Bryce show in Carolina. I think the narrative that they created about Stroud, and I think the narrative that they created about Bryce has landslided it. They put Bryce in the spotlight, and they put Stroud, CJ Stroud in a negative spotlight. And it's all in a matter of a week, you know. So I feel like Carolina will keep the safe pick and go ahead and take Bryce. Um, you know, it was 1A, 1B, but just all this news coming out, man, it just seems like Bryce is the heavy favorite.
Yeah, he is, man. And how do you feel about the news that's coming out about CJ Stroud fucking sliding, man? They saying that he may potentially slide out of the top 5.
No, like I said, I don't see that happening, bro. Because for one, like I said, he doesn't make it. He don't, in my opinion, he doesn't make it past Houston. D'Amico Ryan cannot go into the season with Mills as his quarterback and think he's gonna keep his job, bro. That's like insanity. That happened last year. They was
Yeah.
ass, and then you're gonna go again with when your career as a head coach on the line. You just got a position as a black man. No, it doesn't work like that. I don't see Stroud falling past Houston, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little wild to me, man. Like it really is a little wild to me, man, because again, man, this was a guy that was the consensus #1 overall pick at one point for the Carolina Panthers. And now, man, the talk is they have him sliding, man. What do y'all think, man, is the reasons for this?
Well, you know, we kind of touched on it last week. What I touched on is that the only reason they were saying Stroud was going to be the #1 pick, especially once we traded up and got to the #1 pick, is because Frank Reich likes taller quarterbacks, right? And out of all the quarterbacks that was going to be considered for #1 pick, Stroud was the best one that per se that had some size on him as far as height. So there was in there. Okay, the Panthers, that's what prefer. With Frank Reich and his history, he prefers taller. So therefore, CJ Stroud, we're gonna take #1. So then fast forward to last week, when again, this is what teams do all the way up to the draft. They bring, they go to pro days, they go to, they talk to these guys, they bring them in, and they do their homework on who they potentials are, right? And I think we was always in love with Bryce. We was always in love with CJ.
Right.
And I think that Bryce set himself apart, within the last 2 weeks. Either it was from, conversations like Frederick said. He made the comment that, talking to Bryce is like talking
ELT, you got some noise in the background, brother.
Oh, my bad.
You good?
But like I was saying is like talking. He said talking to Bryce like talking to 40-year-old man, and again, I think Bryce set himself apart. Like, okay, if we take the size out of it, who gives us our best potential? Who I think is going to be able to lead this franchise to the promised land? And I think that the Panthers basically said, well, shit, we're going to go ahead and take Bryce. We like CJ, but we think Bryce set himself apart, because they was neck and neck coming down the stretch. And to my opinion, I think that's how it was in the organization, the front office. And Bryce, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't cut you off. Sorry.
No, I was just finishing up. I was just saying, Bryce, to me, he just pulled the head, a little bit in the last couple of weeks, I think, on basing, I guess the Panthers, his visit, they've been talking to him, and I think they just, okay, well, this is the guy that we're going to take. So,
Then what I was gonna say, whoever did that draft, man, they definitely got D'Amico Ryan getting fired. They got the general manager for Houston getting fired. Because why the hell would you take Hendon Hooker at 12 when he wasn't even projected to go in the first round?
I disagree with that one. That part right there, I disagree with, man, wholeheartedly. I don't think that Hendon Hooker is worthy of going in the first round on any circumstance at all, especially coming off a major injury. I don't see Hendon Hooker, man, being a first round pick at all.
So,
yeah.
He just wants some feedback.
Yeah, nah, Peter King, he been around a while, man. Again, this mock draft is just like all the ones that came out previously. It's hundreds of them.
Yeah,
mock
without a
draft.
doubt.
It don't really mean anything. It's just a mock draft that he put out.
Right.
So, we go listen. We gonna find out Thursday, guys. What it's gonna be. All this talk leading up to it. We gonna find out where everyone's gonna go. Right.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
we do know is who the Panthers are taking.
That definitely.
That's what
It's
we
not
do
even a
know.
question. Like, guys, at this point, I'm willing to bet the house. I told everybody on Thursday, I would be completely surprised if any other fucking name was called on Thursday for number one. Listen, I'm excited about this shit, man. I really am excited about this, bro. I think Bryce is going to do special shit here in Carolina. I really feel that way. I feel like he's going to be a special quarterback, man. He has the potential to really be a rookie of the year because, again, man, the Panthers have set him up for success. You could say, again, the only knock on this kid has been his size. If that's his only knock, CLT, if his size is his only knock, can you really pass up on a guy like that, man? That is his only fucking knock is his size. Nothing else, man. Outside of that, he checks every other box that you want in the quarterback. He's a humble guy, man. He's a hard worker. He's a champion. It's about to be, listen, man, this draft is about to be fucking crazy, bro. It's about to be Kevin Costner on draft day scenario where the Panthers will trade back just enough to draft CJ or AR. Courtesy, it's not happening, man. Let it go.
Hey,
Let it go, Courtesy.
Man. Hey,
Let it go, Courtesy. It's not happening, bro. We're not trading out of that number one pick.
I like that you went to the movie, man, draft day. That is a great movie. I like that movie myself, but that scenario not happening on Thursday.
Yeah.
We are solidified at number one. Okay.
Yeah. It ain't happening, man.
We not trading back at number one.
Yeah, it's not happening.
We gave up too much. We gave up one of our best young players to get to number one. So why would we trade back, once we got the number one after giving up, what we gave up? So that don't make any sense. So
Eric, what's good with it, boy?
The pick will be Bryce Young. You can bet the house on that now that I know, like I said, the dude, y'all got to pay attention to what's going on. They've been building up Bryce Young. He was all over ESPN last week. The only quarterback on the ESPN.
He did First Take. He was on ESPN.
Yeah.
He did the pivot interview last week, man.
So what I mean is he made all the national media. It wasn't CJ. It wasn't AR. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Will Levis. It was no other prospect that had as much attention last week that Bryce Young got, a week before the draft. So the writing's on the wall, fellas. And again, if the Panthers did anything different at number one, it will be truly shocking to me if they did anything. But I'm willing to bet the house on it that Bryce will be the guy. He will be the guy. And he's going to be our quarterback. So those that's hoping and wishing, I understand. I get it. Everybody got the hope and wish for something. But I'm telling you, this one is we already gave our card to the commissioner. Is what I'm telling you, fellas. It's done. Just a pick. We already know who we get.
Hey, we got Mudbone in the building. Mudbone, what's good with it, bro?
Salute, Wave, salute, panel. Man, I want to say this. I want to say I've been watching like the leading up to the draft. I've been watching it for a while now, and I've never seen a narrative like when two quarterbacks go head to head. Who's one, who's two? I've never seen a narrative flip like it has in this, because at first it was CJ. And it's like now the last couple of weeks is, it's just Bryce. CJ is like down in 10. Like CJ then went from one to going all the way down to being out of top 10. And I'm just like, what? It's crazy because to be honest, I hope this is not a smear campaign for CJ, because regardless of who they pick, man, I don't like, some of these reports. Now, if it's true, it is what it is. I don't like some of these reports, how they just trying to dog CJ and trying to put him, trying to bring up all these stories and stuff like that, man. And it's just crazy, man.
Hey, Mudbone, I'm 100% with you, man. Listen, it's always been 1A and 1B to me, man. Like, I wish I knew. There's no solid report, man, that's coming on why CJ stock is falling, right? I keep seeing little bits and pieces here and there from certain sources about why it could potentially be falling, man. But there has to be something going on behind the scenes, man, that's not out yet about why this guy, has the narrative have changed so much. Listen, I get it, man. This is the draft. You're gonna have some shift in opinions and so on and so forth. But again, man, for a guy that was literally the consensus overall pick, and for a team like the Houston Texans to come out and say that they're not sold.
No, they didn't. They didn't. That's a report. They didn't come out and say it. Nobody really knows what they're doing. It's just
Right.
a whole
for
lot
the
of speculation right now.
Well, listen, but I will say this though, man. Now, again, a lot of this stuff it could be smoke screens, but with this close to the draft, man, like this shit comes out, and some of this shit got to hold some weight, bro. Like we're too close to it for none of this shit to be just coming from left field, right?
And I ain't gonna lie, I get what you're saying because look, they even saying the Raiders not even taking this dude.
Exactly.
The Raiders not taking.
Exactly.
They even saying the coach. They even saying the coach willing to take Will Levis over C.J. Stroud all of a sudden. I'm like, what?
Yeah, because think about it. If I've never seen a draft where a guy like C.J. Stroud was arguably one of the top quarterbacks coming out of the draft. 1 week before the draft, now they saying he go fall out of the top 5 without a real reason.
Without a concrete S2 test.
Right, you get what I'm saying?
That they just brought in this year. They ain't even been doing this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no legit reason for it. So, no, I have not seen this where a quarterback that was almost the consensus number 1 overall pick 1 week before
here's the thing, fellas,
falls down.
Well, back up now. Let's go. He wasn't the consensus number 1 overall.
Well, for a while, they said that's what the Panthers was going to get, though.
I mean, well, that's who they put out a report and said that's who they think we were going to draft because Frank Wright prefers a taller quarterback. But it was never that this whole draft. There's never been a true number 1.
T. Thompson was good.
You know what I'm saying? Quarterback. So that's what we missing. Now we always said, because of that report that Frank Wright prefers strong, taller quarterback. That's who we was gonna get. But it was never a consensus like how we had in years past where we knew who the first quarterback was going to be taken out. It never was that with CJ because, again, Bryce Young was always up there. Bryce Young was not further down than CJ. He was always right there, right? It was always 1A, 1B, or however you want to put it. So, the fact that CJ is slipping again, I don't think he's going to go past 2. But and I don't agree with Peter King, him probably dropping to 13. I think that's way too far because, again, CJ is that guy, fellas. He is that guy. He has been that guy. To me, I think, he was right up there. He right up there with Justin Fields coming out a couple years ago, man. And Justin Fields fell to 12 or 13, which I thought he was going to be, they thought that he was going to be a top 3 pick. Fields was coming out of college. And he ended up going 12 or 13.
Do y'all think that it's the whole knock on Ohio State's quarterbacks not having much success in the NFL?
That could be part of it, but I don't. That's not enough. That it could be part of it, but to me, that's just not enough. And when I say that, I mean I'm like I need something more concrete to be like, oh, this guy is just this, and usually they'll come out with the report of something going on, or if this and that or the other. And nobody's really saying nothing. Everybody's just like, oh, the S2 test. So now he's just gonna fall. And I'm like, bro, how y'all go from, Josh McCown was talking about shooting basketball hoops with this man when he come to Carolina type shit. Like they was all buddy, chummy at the pro day. Like yeah. And it just went from that to you know if he going top 10. So I don't know. It's weird. It's fun.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't think his agent doing a good job, man. His agent needs to be getting him some interviews to clear some of these goddamn narratives prior to the draft, man. So he just sitting back and letting them dictate his character like this, man. That's not cool.
Mulligetta got a lot of players to manage, man. But I would hope that he would get in front of this though. But yeah, he got one of the best agents, so it ain't him.
Yeah, he gonna be fine, man. See, listen, I think CJ, regardless of the reports that's coming out, I think he's still gonna be the number 2 quarterback taken. I don't see a team drafting Will Levis or Anthony Richards over him, man. I mean, if you want to win, like, and this guy has potential, like great potential, and won at Ohio State, and damn near beat Georgia by itself, the eventual national champions this past year, man. When you go back and watch him play, the dude is the real deal. So,
But
so I
uh,
just don't think he gonna, like slide like they say he gonna slide. Again, him going, I can see him still being the top 5 pick, in this draft.
Yeah, Jeremy Fowler. I'm reading this one report, man, that I found. Said that Jeremy Fowler of ESPN.com said that SportsCenter that there doesn't seem to be a lot of momentum right now for Stroud to go second overall to the Houston Texans. And he also cited a source who said that Stroud shouldn't slip very far down the board if Houston passes on him. Fowler speculated a team outside of the top 10 might even trade up if he slips to number 5 or 6. Watch out for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
that's what they were saying. Tennessee and then
Yep.
Detroit even said if he's at 6, they're gonna take him. So he ain't falling outside the top 10. Somebody's gonna, because it's not Atlanta.
Right.
Of course, Las Vegas saying they're not gonna do it. So it's
I think I got a nugget, man. I done found something. So some believe in NFL. This is per Derek Klassen. He said, a Bleacher, there were some general concerns with Stroud's game coming out of college. Per Bleacher Report, NFL draft scout Derek Klassen wrote how the Buckeyes quarterback showed late or questionable decision-making when the coverage was rotated or when bodies dropped off at the line of scrimmage unexpectedly. Klassen added that he possesses below-average ability to throw from crowded pockets. Now, the biggest issue with Stroud seems to stem from his score on the S2 cognition test, an exercise that's supposed to measure how quickly a player can process information. According to Go Long's Bog McGinn, Stroud scored 18 on the test. 99 is a perfect score. That's like a red alert. Red alert. You can't take a guy like that. An NFL team executive said to me again. That is why I have Stroud as a bust. That in conjunction with the fact that name one Ohio State quarterback has ever done well in the NFL. Wow.
See, but again, that's back to your point. Again, me personally, listen, a test, the S2 test, man, that's supposed to measure mental capacity, that don't mean nothing, man. Any true player tell you, like, man, how you respond on the field. That test is just, something that they measure to try to say, well, how fast he can process information. They don't mean nothing. When you inside of a game, those that done played, and how no, man, like, they don't got nothing to do with a damn written test, man. You know what I'm saying? So that test don't mean nothing. I think, what you said earlier, there's a knock on Ohio State quarterbacks that they may not do well in NFL. You look at the past weeks again. People was talking about Fields. I still think Fields gonna be a pretty good quarterback.
I do too. I really do too.
So people were saying
you just got to get some weapons around him.
Yeah, right. He had a pretty solid season last year for the Bears. I mean, he was running for his damn life most of the time, but Fields is a good quarterback, man. And I think he's gonna be great. So
yeah, I do too.
But
honestly, man, I think Justin Fields. I think he's gonna have a hell of a season, man. Now that they got DJ Moore, they've added some offensive linemen, they've added some weapons. I think he's gonna have a hell of a year. I really do.
Yep, I think Fields, but man, that's all talk, man, about this dude Stroud. Look, I see, man. Go back and watch the Georgia game, man. Go back and watch the Georgia game this past college football playoff, man. I'm telling you, the dude was against Georgia, the top team in the country, NFL prospects on the line. I'm telling you, man, the dude can play. He can play, and he can think. He can make all the throws. So again, this is just these reports that Stroud, again, it's a smear campaign in my opinion. But I'm telling you, it's gonna be a team, man. Whoever get this dude, whoever pull the trigger on the man, they're not gonna regret it. I guarantee it.
And I believe that. Like, I want that to be known, guys. Like, I'm only just reading the reports and stuff out, so I'm not making up shit out of left field about what's going on in the media. I'm trying to figure it out because I do agree, man, that there was one point in time in this process that C.J. Stroud was my guy. Like, that was the guy that I said that I wanted the Panthers to take, man. But for me, and why my narrative switched, Mudbone, CLT, and Big Bruh, my narrative switched, man, because I went back, man, and really like did some deep review on Bryce Young, man, went back to certain tape, went back to the LSU game. Obviously, me being an LSU fan and stuff like that, man. Really, the only flaw I could see for Bryce Young was his size. And to
I
me,
told you
I had to say to
day
myself,
one.
if he was CJ Stroud's size, because I do think that Bryce Young is a better playmaker than CJ Stroud. Like I'm standing on that shit, right?
I
I
said
think
that.
Bryce Young
I
can make
told you
better plays than CJ Stroud. I
that. I
think
told
Stroud might have a better arm talent, but I think Bryce Young is a more of a playmaker than CJ Stroud. And at the NFL, you got to be able to have be able to be a playmaker at quarterback, man, in order to escape. And if you ask me who Bryce Young games reminds me of, it reminds me of a young Deshaun Watson first couple of years in the NFL. If you remember how Deshaun was, he was able to escape, man, out of pockets. He wasn't really a scrambler. He was a thrower first, but had the ability to escape. And that's what you got to have in the NFL, right? So that's why my narrative changed with Bryce Young, being the favorite, man. And again, but if the Panthers drafted CJ Stroud, I would be just fucking excited. I just didn't understand why he was falling or why they're saying he's projected to fall the way that he does. Honestly, like Big Bro say, I don't see him making it out of the top 5. I think a team is going to trade up to number 3 with the Arizona Cardinals, granted to be the Texans, Detroit Lions, maybe the Colts. The Colts, they seem to be more sold on Anthony Richardson because of Shane Steichen. Anthony Richardson is a Shane Steichen type of player, but I just don't know, man, why like the narrative changed so quick. Now, you know how in some drafts when you got like multiple quarterbacks at the top, how you would see it like sway a little bit. But bro, this has been like a big ass swing. It ain't big. This was no little swing. This was a huge swing from CJ Stroud to Bryce Young. That's all.
How you get off this. You know how you get off that seesaw and go all the way up. That's kind of the analogy I want to use. You on the seesaw and I just get up and motherfucker go straight to the sky. You go straight to the bottom. But out the waves, we had this conversation already, bro. I told you all of this from day one about Bryce Young.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I told you about this before the smear campaign, before the S2 test, before all that. I told you. I said, Bryce, that guy. I said, I like CJ, but Bryce just do more. And I got ridiculed for it. So I'm just like, now it's crazy because now a lot of Panther fans want to CJ Stroud. Most of them still do. And I'm just like, bro, like y'all got to take Bryce, bro. He got it. I like CJ, but he just got it. I seen 2 tails of Bryce Young. We haven't seen that with CJ Stroud, man. Like, it just is. It is what it is, man. And I'm not saying Stroud not gonna be a good bag. I'm not saying he's not gonna be a good quarterback, but man, to me, I look at what you can do when everything's not going right. Just like they said with CJ Stroud throwing in the pockets, throwing in crowded pockets. Bryce Young, did you see how he scrambled and got out that pocket against Texas and scrambled for that first down? You ain't got to worry about that type of stuff with Bryce, but it's all good, man.
No, you're right, Mudbone. Listen, and me and Big Brother, like we done said numerous of times, man. Again, I'm been an Alabama fan, so we watched it, and we be back and forth. Yeah, so LSU and stuff, man. But watching this guy, Bryce, the plays that he made this year, and I'm gonna say the last 2 years, man, you hit it right on head. The dude, when stuff fall down, break apart and fall down, this dude can come out and make a play. And that, to answer your question, courtesy, is who wins more games, a park pass or a playmaker? I'm gonna say, man, a playmaker. Playmaker gonna win more games. When you can make something happen. That's what made Cam so good when he was here in Carolina, man, because he can make plays with his legs as well as his arm. And you had to respect that about Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? Because he could beat you with his legs, and take off. He can beat you with his arm. So a playmaker is always going to give your team a better chance to win just to sit back there in the pocket. And that's not knocking pocket passes. That's just real. And Bryce Young is that playmaker, man. He can, and again, he don't look to take off running. He going to make a play by either moving out the pocket. He'll step up in the pocket. He may roll out, and break away. I mean, the dude is a certified playmaker, and that's not saying that CJ is not. For those that's still beating the drum for CJ, but Bryce Young, he has that what I call that it factor, man. And
Bro,
he
I
go ahead.
don't want to cut y'all, but imagine Bryce, because this is one thing they like to say about it. They say Bryce Young got out of the yard throwing to the running back last year, whatever. And I was just like, imagine Christian McCaffrey and Bryce Young in the backfield, and he throwing to the running backs. Bro, I'm telling you, man, it's just so much more you can do with Bryce. Because to me, it's more you can do with Bryce than you can do with CJ.
Let me
It's
address
just
courtesy right quick. And CLT, man, I want to get your perspective on this stuff too. So courtesy, yeah, it's true. Deshaun Watson didn't have win a ton of games, man, because they had a terrible coach there in Houston, and they didn't give him nearly as many weapons on both sides of the ball, because defense does matter too. When you're talking about his days there in Houston, man, and then it was also at a time, man, where the AFC South
he
was
won
pretty.
a playoff game.
Yeah, like he did go. Yeah, he did go to the playoffs. But what I'm saying, man, is that I was just giving you a comparison of styles of play, right? I wasn't. The Panthers are in the. We know that football is the ultimate team game. No one game is just decided by one player in the NFL in the football period, right? You have to play collective on all three phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It take all three to win a football game, man. So it's not about can he win games with that style of play. The question is, yes, he can win games with that style of play if he's in the right system. It's all about fit. And I think
I ain't
with
gonna
Bryce
lie.
Young and his staff and Thomas Brown and what he can bring with this offense, I think Bryce Young is going to be fine, man. I think that Josh McCown is going to work with Bryce Young. I think that this experienced staff, man, is going to set this game, our offense up to play to his strengths. I really do.
To me, I might be going out on a limb here, but Bryce Young remind me of Steve Young in a lot of ways. Uh, I don't mean to put that on him, bro, but I like Steve Young. Like, he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the fastest, but he just had that playmaking ability. Like, I don't know, like I don't know, bro. He kind of give me those vibes, because it's like with Steve Young, he was really good, but I don't think, like, as far as like in like his stature, you just seeing him head up, you wouldn't be like, oh, he ain't doing nothing like that. And to me, he kind of comes with that to me. But I don't know. I think he got some shades of Steve Young in him, man. And if he get to the Panthers and they continue to add pieces around him, bro, they're gonna be unstoppable.
Yeah, I 100% believe that as well, Mudbo. Hey, shout out to everybody, man, that's pulling up into the chat, man. This is Midday Madness in the Mix, man, with your boy Big Waves. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Hey, look, listen, a lot of stuff going on, man. We are 4 days away from being at the draft. 4 days away from being at the draft. Obviously, right now, the consensus, man, is that Bryce Young will be the selection. We will be doing a live draft reaction on Thursday. We are getting started at 7:45 p.m. 7:45 p.m. The draft is going to begin at 8 o'clock. We are getting started at 7:45 p.m. on Thursday. Make sure that you guys pull up to it. We will be live and ready to go at that time. So make sure that you guys pull up to the draft. It's going to be lit, man. We're going to figure out who our quarterback is, and you guys will have your boy Big Waves here for live draft reactions of the draft, man. It's going to be lit. It is going to
I
be
don't,
lit. So make sure you pull up to the channel.
man. I don't understand why Houston won't just take CJ and get JS in and just take off. Like, I don't get it. Now, if they can get Will
You know what I
Anderson
think it
in,
is, man? Because Houston is more than just a quarterback away from being a contender. Like, you get what I'm saying? I think that's what they're realizing. And Big Bird, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong here. The Texans are more than a quarterback away from being a contender, man.
Yeah,
So granted, yes. Ideally, you would want to take a quarterback here, but again, they pick again at 12. I'm pretty much guaranteed that what they probably have in their mind is draft the best defensive prospect available at 2. Then with the 12th pick, maybe trade up to 5 or 6, from 12 or something like that to grab either whoever's left, Anthony Richardson or CJ Stroud. So that's probably their mindset.
Yeah, I agree with that, man, because again, we know D'Amico Ryans, he's a defensive guy, and they do have 2 picks in within the top 12. So meaning They pick at 2 and they pick at 12. So like Wade just stated, D'Amico Ryan's mindset maybe say, okay, at 2, I'm gonna get the best defensive guy available. Because again, they are more than a player away and a quarterback away from being in contention for anything. So they building. They're in a true rebuild in Houston. So
Right.
I can see them going with a defensive guy at 2, whoever's the best available, or potentially even trading that pick back. If somebody want to come up there and get CJ, and then
Yep.
drafting a quarterback, either either within that top 10, because between Richardson, Levis, or whoever they like, they still got a petition to get them at 12, or even trading that pick, trading that pick to move up, and getting that guy. So I can see that scenario happening with Houston. That way they can get two things, one on offense, one on defense, and they can start this rebuild, man. But yeah, they're definitely more than a player away from winning anything.
And then you got to think about it like this too, man. Because of those same reasons like this, man, that might entice them with them putting it out right now that they're not sold on a quarterback there. That might entice somebody, man, to give up, what I'm saying, some good future assets, for them to be able to build a whole team, because the Texans need everything. Like, they don't need just a quarterback. They don't need just, they got a running back, man, a young running back. What was his name? Pierce, who kind of took off as a rookie last year. They got Mechie, man, who's going to be coming back, and wide receiver Derek Stingley that they drafted last year. So they had a great draft last year. So if they have the potential, man, to still grab a quarterback, granted, if it's Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, trade up from that 12 spot and be able to tuck away the best defensive player in this draft, Anderson or Tyree Wilson, whoever that they're sold on there, man, you can say that this is a fucking win for them. You get what I mean? It really is. Listen, I am 100% sure that Will Levis or Anthony Richardson is probably going to be there, man, closer to that 12 pick. I say that they may have to move up to 7 or 8 to get that, and I can see them definitely doing that, man. And if they're able to walk away with a quarterback and the best defensive draft pick, it's phenomenal. Yeah, go ahead, CLT. I mean, go ahead, big bro, or Mudbone, whoever was going to.
No, you're right, man. I agree with you 100%, man. They sitting in a good position, being that 2 and also having the number 12 pick. So really, Houston can do anything, make any move, and they can trade the number 2 or the 12th pick and get some more picks. So I think they can, if they're not sold on CJ after we take Bryce, and they say, well, you know what? If a team call them up and say, hey, I'm willing to get up to get CJ, because again, it's going to be some teams that love CJ, right? They want to make a trade there, or even Arizona may want to get out that pick. So Houston got a lot of options on the table that they can consider, or they can draft the best available defensive player at number 2. So, but I think D'Amico is going to do a great job. Whoever they do pick at 2 and that 12 or whatever they do decide to do in the draft, that's going to set them up, pretty good in the future. They'll be able to get 2 solid prospects going forward.
Okay. So can I ask y'all this question? Okay, so with the Texans taking that risk, out of the quarterbacks, who do you think is gonna actually fall to them? You know what I'm saying? Because as far as the quarterbacks go, everybody's mostly gonna be taken out the board, so it's gonna be kind of like it's kind of with them. They like, hey, we're willing to take whatever quarterback falls to us at 12, but we gotta have Will Anderson, because some people say he's the best player in the draft, really.
Yeah. So Mudbone, to answer that question, I think that's when they're gonna try to get back up in that top 7-8 range, right? Because if they draft a Will Anderson at 2, they got the 12. So meaning a team that don't necessarily need a quarterback, but still want to, be in that top 12, the 12th range, 13, 12th range. The Texans can go to them and say that maybe like who was at 7? Like Atlanta, ain't Atlanta at 7? Wait, ain't Atlanta at 7?
Vegas at 7. Vegas at 7.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, 8. Yeah, 8.
Hey, okay, so meaning they can potentially trade with the Raiders or Atlanta at 7 or 8 and get a Anthony Richardson or a Will Levis. Trade that 12th pick because those teams don't necessarily need a quarterback. Atlanta, they got Ritter, so they probably not gonna take a quarterback because they got Ritter, and so Atlanta might be willing to deal, man, and they can go up and get a AR-15 or 11s. So that's how I can see it playing, getting back in that top 7, top 8 range. So, Nick Kurz, you think if they don't draft a quarterback, I mean they're gonna draft one, Kurz. I guarantee you, they're gonna draft it. It just depends on where is the seed. But I do think, again, my opinion is this, and I said it earlier. I think CJ goes at number 2. That's just me. I don't see him going past 2, but I also do see a scenario where they taking a defensive player at number 2, potentially like a Will Anderson, and then getting a quarterback at their next pick in the first round.
Hey, big brother CLT, man, y'all hold it down for 5 minutes, just for 5 minutes.
Sure. What you think the Texans gonna do, CLT?
Like I said earlier, man, I don't see them passing on him at 2, man. You just don't bet your job. You don't get a head coaching job. You probably your last chance as a head coach. You're slim to none, you know what I'm saying, as African Americans. And you pass on the a guy that was consensus, well, not consensus, but considered 1A or 1B, doesn't make sense. And then
Right.
You bet on Mills, you know what I'm saying, when he had the shot as the starter last year, and y'all picking that too. So what did it tell you? It didn't work.
Right. Agreed. Nah, you're right, man. I mean, Davis Mills is definitely not a starter. So meaning, DeMeco Ryans, he knows that he got to have a quarterback, right? And the Houston don't have one at this moment. So meaning they got to get one in the draft. Again, it could be just smoke that they saying they ain't interested in the quarterback. Just to try to see if anybody willing to draft at 2, they might be looking for, potential trade possibly, and put some fillers out there that, for they can still get their guy on top of, a defensive play as well. But again, I think they'll be making a mistake if they didn't take CJ Stroud at 2, man, because I believe Stroud is going to be really good in the NFL in the right situation. And he can come in right now to be a starter. The guy's that good. So hopefully DeMeco, man, is on the same page and willing to take Stroud at number 2, man. That's my thought.
He been fun since he been in Houston, man. Because it don't make no sense, bro. You can't win without a quarterback. Y'all don't have a quarterback. That's the number 1 position in the league, bro. It just doesn't make sense. I can see if people who talk about defensive tackle, defensive end, what I'm saying, you can pass on that and be fine, but not quarterback, bro.
Right. Yep. You're right. You're right about that, CLT. But yeah, Kersey. Now we don't want Atlanta to get a quarterback, and Texas don't want Colts to get one. Well, Kersey, Atlanta, they got your boy Ritter. They drafted him last year, and the time that he did come in last year, I mean, he was solid. He was solid at Cincinnati. But I mean, listen, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I don't care what these other teams in our division doing. Long as we take care of what we need to do, and we're gonna take this NFC South. Let's see. Agent 704 said, "Don't sleep on Levis." So CLT, let me get your opinion about how you feel about. So we know who number 1, number 2 is. We got Bryce, we got Stroud. Those are top 2. So, and I know how you feel about AR. So we ain't really talked about Will Levis. How you feel about Will Levis being the 4th quarterback taken to whoever?
I think, honestly, where I would like to see, in my perspective, where the draft should fall should be Bryce or CJ, Carolina. But we'll just say for the sake of it, Bryce goes Carolina number 1. CJ goes to Texas number 2. AR goes to the Colts number 4, and I would say Will Levis landing the Raiders. I can see Josh McDaniels using him.
Yep.
I think that'll work out. The appearances is Josh Allen. He has the size. Josh Allen is it's gonna be hard to come across to Josh Allen, but I think Josh McDaniel has to find him a quarterback because he had an atrocious last year. His job probably on the line as well with all the talent that he had and the record that he put up. So he has to get a quarterback. I don't see him passing on Will Levis. Now you do have Garoppolo down there in L.A. But Garoppolo is a bridge. You gotta get somebody who's going to become a franchise. I think Levis could use Devontae. Could use they just lost their tight end. But Josh, the running back that they have on there. So I think Levis would be fine in Oakland. In LA.
Yeah, I'm with you. Levis, I can see him going to the Raiders because he fit Josh McDaniels type of guy. Tall quarterback. They can sit in the pocket. Really can't move too well. Just a true pocket passer. Got a strong arm. So I can see him landing with the Raiders. And when Josh McDaniels, that's exactly what I was gonna say. And again, I watched a little bit tape on Levis, and he's like the prototypical, what they call the prototypical quarterback. He's big. He got strong arm, true pocket passer. So I from the film that I watched on him, I mean, he's solid. He's solid. I don't think me personally, I don't think he top 15 worthy. I think he more so like in the first round. Myself, if I was a GM over there drafted him. But man, I think that Raiders be a good fit for him. Right there. Go ahead.
I think us trading moves his stock down. I say this because when we were sitting at 9, when I was doing the mock drafts and just looking everything over, man, we would be happy for AR or Levis to fall to us when we were sitting at 9. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we needed a quarterback. So I think with the trades that happened, his stock has fell. But like I said, when we were back at 9, bro, I was hoping at least one of them could fall to us and see what our coaching staff can develop AR or Levis into, because we were in desperate need for a quarterback at that position.
Yeah. No, you're right. Sitting at 9, man, I was hoping, me myself, I was hoping that if Richardson didn't fall to us, then I was going back and forth between Levis and Hendon Hooker. I know they brought the topic up earlier that when Peter King did the mock draft that Hendon Hooker was at 12. Man, I like Hooker as a quarterback, man. I watched that game against us, man, and he, they beat us. They beat Alabama, and the dude made some incredible throws, man. I think he more like that in that range where Malik Willis at, as far as talent level. But I like him, man. But that was my hope, man. If we didn't trade out that pick, I would say either AR-15 wasn't available. It was gonna be I was going back and forth between Levis and Hooker, man. But
I think with Hooker though, you gotta account in that injury and his age. He's gonna be walking. He's gonna be a freshman at rookie at 25.
Right.
So I couldn't hang our hat on Hooker.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. Back at it, fellas. We back at it, man. Appreciate y'all boys, man. Hey, look, listen, man. I think, man, we go get shocked, man, by a lot of stuff that's gonna happen on this draft, especially in that top 5 on Thursday. Like, I think that it's going to be a shocker for a lot of people, man. And honestly, man, obviously Carolina Panthers picking at 1, but I'm going to be interested to see what the other teams do in the top as well, man, because those are going to actually dictate on what's going to be for 39 at Carolina, man. So let me ask y'all a question. Looking at that second pick, if Bryce is the overall ready to go, what should the move be at 39? What should the move be at 39 for Carolina?
The move should be at 39.
Yeah, what should the Panthers do?
I'm gonna say the best available, man. If it's a receiver, if there's a receiver there, to pair Bryce Young up with another receiver. I mean, I think we got some good solid receivers now. It should definitely be receiver, but also if it's because we still need line help, we still need help at linebacker and also in the secondary. So yeah, I'm gonna say best available, man, because I mean we still got needs to fill. So whoever's the best available um, at 39, whether it's receiver, corner, lineman, linebacker, edge rusher, again, whoever's the best available at those positions, that's who we should take, man.
All right. What about you, CLT?
I would stand put a receiver. But looking at these mock drafts though, what they got in the first round, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if one of these top tight ends fall to us at 39, like a pass catching tight end, like you get Dalton Kincaid or
Michael
Michael
Mayer.
Mayer. Yeah, Michael Mayer to pair with Hurst. I wouldn't like that. I would like that, but if we for example imagine made it heaven if JXN falls to us, that would be the pick.
Yeah, I personally, man, I think again, I'm gonna stay put at wide receiver. I think that you can't get your young quarterback. There ain't no such thing as him having too many weapons. So and I think that these wide receivers are going to slide. Like I see Johnston potentially sliding into the second round. Some of these guys, Zay Flowers may be. I mean, Nick Jigba may still go in the first round. But some of these top guys are going to slide, man, at that 39 spot. Now, corner is obviously that's my second need. I think that's the number 2 need that we need. Another tight end. I mean, yeah, but I think we could probably find another quality tight end like in the 3rd round or something like that. But if you asking me, man, get another weapon for a young quarterback, man, somebody that he can grow with. Because you got to remember, man, DJ Shark is only on a 1-year deal. We don't know if we're going to be able to keep him. Terrace Marshall Jr., man, the writing is still out there. His story still needs to be written on what he can really be. I think that if he stays healthy, he can be a top wide receiver on the football team. But I think that you got to go get him another weapon, man, at that 39 spot. And if not, then you take the best cornerback available. Like literally, it's the best cornerback available. But if we pick Bryce number 1, another O-line may be a priority, just saying. I mean, yeah, we could always use some depth on the offensive line. But, honestly, our starting 5, man, is legit, like, on the line. And they've all been locked up. So they should be here, for quite some time. Ikwanu was on a rookie deal. Taylor Moton is still on the deal that we locked him up on. We re-signed Bradley Bozeman. They just got to get healthy. Brady Christensen, those guys get healthy. But we definitely could use some depth behind them. But I'm not taking offensive lineman with that second pick. I'm definitely not doing that. So tight end at 39, I mean, it just depends, man. If Michael Mayer or Dalton Kincaid are there, I wouldn't be mad at that. But again, when you bringing Hayden Hurst in already, man, to be the number 1 tight end, I wouldn't, it's not a dire need. Like I wouldn't overreach for a tight end at 39. But if Michael Mayer or Dalton Kincaid fall, I mean, you might consider it just depending on who's left there. But I would probably consider wide receiver first.
But what I was saying was with the tight end thing is a 2 tight end set is a big help for a rookie quarterback.
It is. It definitely is.
So pairing it with Sanders in the backfield, we got Thielen and Clark. You know what I'm saying? For this year, hopefully Terrace Marshall take a step. But my pick would be a receiver. I just don't know if they're going to fall. But I was watching something yesterday where Smitty was evaluating these receivers, man. And he was killing them. He wasn't showing no love for real. He was saying the number 1 quarterback receiver was Johnson. He was saying he don't have any. He doesn't attack the ball.
Yeah, a lot of people say that Johnson had some drops too.
Yeah, so they were just saying this receiver class, like from listening to Smitty, he just wasn't impressed with this receiver class. And I was just watching that yesterday, so the receiver could fall to us.
Could, man. Like I said, I think we just got to look at, what's available. again, I wouldn't reach for a receiver. Like if a receiver got a third or fourth round raid, a late third or fourth round raid, then and that's the best one available, I wouldn't reach at 39 for a receiver over an edge that's graded higher or a corner that's graded higher or even a lineman, in my opinion. So I think we just got to see at 39, once we come up, get to our pick and what's available, and then fill our needs from there. But this receiver class, people keep talking about it. It's a weaker one. I mean, maybe, because it ain't really probably too many, top receivers going in the first round like we normally see in years past. But I still think there's some good, solid receivers in this draft class that we have a chance to grab at 39. So, if the best one available, Jordan Addison, I like him, man. The kid from USC, he could be there at 39.
Yeah, Jordan. That's what I'm saying. He could potentially. Hey, listen, I would love that Jordan Addison pick up, man. I would love that from you. You talking about from USC, right?
Yeah, from USC.
Yeah. He a talented wide receiver, man. He's definitely a talented. Listen, if Zay Flowers, Nick Jigba, or Jordan Addison, one of those three are there at 39, shit, man, you got to pull the trigger.
Anybody know our receiver coach? I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, I got his name right here. Hold on. Got his name right here. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I got it right here. Yeah, the wide receiving coach is Sean Jefferson.
Any background on him? God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, Sean Jefferson, man, experienced wide receiver coach. I think he came over from the Rams as well with Thomas Brown. Man, looking at this staff, man, I got like a whole complete list of this whole staff, man. I keep forgetting that we have D'Angelo Hall on the staff as a cornerback coach. Like, D'Angelo Hall is on this staff, man.
We got a hell of a staff.
Yeah, Frank Wright, the head coach. Deuce Staley, assistant head coach and running back coach. Thomas Brown, offensive coordinator. Jim Caldwell, senior assistant. Ejiro Evero as defensive coordinator. Dom Capers as senior defensive coordinator. Special team coach Chris Tabor. Passing game coordinator Parks Frazier. Sean Jefferson, wide receiver coach. James Campen is offensive line coach. Josh McCowan is QB coach. We still don't have a tight ends coach yet. Todd Walsh is defensive line coach. Peter Hansen, linebacker coach. Tim Lakubu as outside linebackers coach. Jonathan Cooley and D'Angelo Hall as cornerbacks coach. And Burt Watts as the safeties coach. This is an experienced ass staff, man.
Oh, yeah.
This is an experienced ass staff. But look, fellas, we about to go ahead and call it a show, man. Your boy got to get into some work stuff, man, for today. Hey, look, I appreciate everybody pulling up to the live. Listen, 4 days away from the draft, 4 days away from being at the draft. Look, get excited. Get your popcorn ready. It is about to be the Bryce, baby. Listen, that's going to be our saying going forward. Bryce, baby. Get ready for it, man. Number 9 to Carolina on Thursday. Don't forget, we have a live draft reaction on Thursday. Live draft reaction on Thursday beginning at 7:45 p.m. Pull up to the channel. It is going to be fucking lit. Live draft reaction Thursday night. Pull up to the channel, man. I'm probably going to have the radio broadcast playing here. Can't show the Jacksonville Drive here on YouTube because we'll get flagged for it. But probably going to have the radio version of the draft showing on the stream. It's going to be fucking lit, bro. Y'all make sure to pull up to the channel to get my live reaction. I can get your live reaction, and we're immediately going to be going through all of these picks in the first round. Live right after that, guys. We'll be live again on Friday morning after the draft. It's going to be a hell of a show, man. So make sure that y'all pull up to the channel. Appreciate Big Bro CLT for pulling up as always. Y'all already know what time it is, baby. Life is Just a Wave podcast. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe, man. Hit that notification bell. Hit the like on this video, bro, so that everybody can pull up to the channel. Y'all already know how it's going to be. It's going to be fucking lit. This is Panther Nation. We big, we better. It's time for it, man. It's time to get excited. It's time to turn up, bro. This is new Carolina Panther football. Big bro, go ahead with your last words.
Hey, like I always end it, get ready. We coming. Thursday. Start of our future as an organization and this team. Get on board. If you're not on board with Bryce, get on board because it's time. And we'll see y'all on the next live.
Yeah, we'll be back up here on Wednesday. CLT, last words.
Man, I just want to say, man, tune in, man. It's going digital, man. My man Wavez, my man Big Bro. We're going live Thursday, man. To celebrate the new regime, man. Whoever we pick, the consensus right now is Bryce. You know, everybody excited. Let's go ahead and make the pick. Let's see what we do in the second round. Let's see what these other teams do. We're not focused on the other teams. We focus on this Carolina football, man. But it's a great start here in Carolina, man. Shout out to Wade. Shout out to Wavez podcast, man. Continue to tune in. Continue to support.
Y'all already know, man. Hey, look, appreciate you, bro. This is our week, Panther Nation. Stand the fuck up. It's time, baby. It's time to get this some winning culture here in Carolina. Get excited. Get turned up. Take some damn days off of work because best believe the future of the Carolina Panthers is bright, everybody. But until next time, everybody, Life is Just a Wave podcast. To all my surface, man, pay attention to the community section. I'm going to be posting out a lot of news as it breaks. News as it breaks. I'm going to be posting it there. So y'all already know how we do it, man. Life is just a wave, baby. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. We will see y'all again Wednesday at noon, midday madness in the mix. Then after that, we live every day for the rest of the week leading up to the draft. It's time. Get your damn popcorn ready, baby. We coming. Till next time, everybody.